changing lives.
Hello and good evening. It's another beautiful Tuesday and I am glad to be with you. Wherever you can hear my voice from, on the Facebook, on YouTube, on your set with your families, the program is Love at Home and I am glad that I'm seeing you again. Yes, on Love at Home we discuss everything about the family. But today I have a very wonderful person with me. He's the channel manager of Hope Channel Ghana. Mr. Hammond, he's here to share with us some interesting but yet great news to you. Mr. Hammond, this smile is so infectious. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, God is good to me. How are you doing?
I'm also great, and I'm sure my viewers are also happy to see you. It's been a while you visited us.
That's true.
Yeah, we always want to see you. That's good. Now, you told me you have good news for me, and you are talking about something called pitch. What is it?
Yes, the pitch is a business, or shall I say an entrepreneurial semi-reality show. Okay. Is a program that seeks to empower young people financially to be able to grow their businesses. And so the pitch basically is a platform where young people can put in their bid or put in a pitch to make a stake at 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Did you say 100,000 Ghana cedis?
To support their business.
Ah, this is wonderful. So who can participate in this? Am I part?
Unfortunately, you're not.
Oh.
We're looking at young people 30 years and below.
Okay.
Young people 30 years and below. They must be Ghanaian or resident in Ghana. Yes, you must be Ghanaian or resident in Ghana to be able to be part of the pitch.
So if somebody is interested, how can the person be?
You need to go to the website. We have the pitchghana.com.
Please say it again.
Thepitchghana.com.
That's great.
Yeah, thepitchghana.com. You go to the website and you see that you register on the website. You click on register and you get to register. And it has a lot of information also about the program.
Okay.
You know, so if you want to know more about the program, you still visit thepitchghana.com and then you get more. But the registration goes with 100 cedis.
Just 100 Ghana cedis?
Yes, you have to register with 100 Ghana cedis. And we did that because we don't want anybody just to put in because they've had money.
Commitment.
They've had money, and so but we want people who are committed.
That's good.
To what they believe in terms of their business. It could just be an idea, you know, or it is something that you've already started, small, micro, you know, micro, small, or just an idea. You know, you put in your pitch and we look at it. So when you go to the registration platform, there are a series of questions that you have to answer so that from the back end we can have an idea as to what your business idea is and what you require to make that business work.
Mr. Hammond, 100,000 Ghana cedis seems to be huge. How are you getting it?
You know, the 100,000 Ghana cedis is not for one person to take, you know, and that's why we say to make a stake in the 100,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. So because, you know, the businesses vary. For somebody, the business idea that they have, 10,000 is enough to get them going. For some, 50,000, for some 60, it varies. And so there is this at stake.
All right.
So depending on what
idea you are bringing
aboard and what was required in it, you know. Yes, but we're grateful to our partners. We have some very good partners who are supporting us in this project. You know, they buy into the idea of what we intend to do. We have the Adventist Heritage Cooperative Fund, and then we have the National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program. They are supporting us financially to to run this program. And we have some donors who are also supporting with, for example, where they're going to be having their tuition or their studies, you know, when they come for the program, what they're going to be eating, etc. So we have Mind Builders Africa, we have Innovate Black, we have Kumasi City Incubation Hub, we have the Chill River Resort, J Modern Health Services, E-Juice Company Limited, and Gracious Grace, who are all supporting us one way or the other.
Lee, you know, this sounds so interesting. I'm so happy. I wish I am that young that I can partake. But if I want to be a sponsor, am I allowed? What is in it for me?
Yes, I mean, we're still looking for more funds because, you know, the more people we can help, you know, the better it is, because at Hope Channel, we say we change lives.
That is great.
You get me? And we've been changing people's lives, the spiritual part, we've been helping the relationship part. And so this is the economic part, you know, because when people are economically viable, they're also easy to listen to whatever message that you have. And so, yes, we're looking forward for more partners, financial partners who will come on board so that we can expand it. And we ask that you can call us on 050 80 80 774, 050 80 80 774 to be part of this. And obviously, being part of it means that you are enhancing someone's life. You are making a blessing into somebody's life. And obviously, the channel would also appreciate that and give you that kind of mileage that you need for whether it's your business or whether it's for a charity activity that you want to do or whatever it is. And so it is a platform that is a win-win situation for those who will come on board in terms of contestants and also sponsors for the program.
This is so interesting. Your final word, then please call out the website address again.
Okay, so just to give viewers an idea of how the program works, you first register through the website thepitchghana.com. thepitchghana.com. You register at that site with 100 cedis. Now, out of the numbers that would register, we have a faculty. The faculty are industry persons, you know, business people, marketing, communication people, etc. They will cut down the numbers to 20.
Okay.
They'll go through all the proposals that we received, the pitch that we received, and look at it and cut down to 20. Okay. Now, these 20 people are going to go through what we call a boot camp.
Oh.
That's a special one-week training session.
All right.
Where they are going to go through and be taken through even their proposals that they brought and how they can enhance it and all that. And after that training, they make a pitch to the faculty members, and the faculty members select the final 10 that will go into the reality competition. And so this 10 will be doing weekly tasks, 7 weekly tasks over the period.
All right.
You get me? And so we have, apart from the faculty, we have the board.
Okay.
The board are like the key judges. So the board give them the task.
All right.
And once the board gives them the task, the faculty take them through the training of the task.
Yeah.
You know, so what we're trying to do is that we're trying to build them, round them up even before they get the funds. So by the time they get the funds, they have an understanding of business generally, marketing, communication, negotiations, and all that kind of things.
That's great.
You get me? So the 10 will go through the reality show, 5 will drop along the line to the finale, where we'll take the final 5 to make the pitch to win what is at stake in terms of the cash prize. But the interesting thing too is that we have angel investors who will be watching the program. So you might not necessarily even be in the final 5, but your idea can be
bought by somebody who can support you. That is great, you know. That is great. Hope Channel, you are doing well. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad.
You're
welcome.
There
anything? I hope you are okay. And then we've given the information as it is.
Yes.
So, what are you waiting for? My young woman and lady, young man and woman, below 30 years. Hurry, rushing, just 100 Ghana cedis. You can be registered and you can join the pitch. Don't waste time. God bless you. Thank you so much, Mr. Hammond. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you
So
too
let's
much.
go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll start our discussion for the day. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Are you a Ghanaian or resident of Ghana? Are you 30 years and below? Are you a startup, micro or small business owner wanting to scale up your business? Then apply for the Pitch 2024. Join the ranks of burgeoning startups from all across Ghana. Follow your dreams. Be bold and pitch to win a stake in the 100,000 Ghana cedis needed to unlock your startup's potential. Apply now with 100 Ghana cedis at www.thepitchghana.com.
The Pitch is powered by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with Seed Spring Network and sponsored by Heritage Cooperative Fund, National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, and our donors.
Hello guys, I welcome you all to Gospel 101 TV show. My name is Selassie Evelyn and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this uplifting journey into the hearts of gospel music and inspiration. What you made ye sui, yet de ekuko down. Get ready for a television show that will challenge, uplift, and remind you of the incredible power of God. Yeshawo Bose, yet the life-changing stories.
We are not going to marry when we go to heaven. It is very true. But if we are not careful, our bonnet heaven will cry.
Good music videos. So tell a friend to tell another friend, say, Gospel 101 Jumedieno has come. It is not just a show, it is going to be an experience.
Gospel 101 premiering on Hope Channel on 10th April at 6 p.m.
In times like this, when we have dry eyes and cold feet, in times like this, when people are thinking about themselves and money and money and money. My brothers and sisters, I want to join me in times like this to think more about God's original intentions. I want to invite you that the answer is not more money. The answer is not in more properties. The answer is that in times like this, we need to have a savior. In times like this, we need to have an anchor. In times like this, our anchor must hold to Jesus Christ. He is the only one who can take us out of this suffering and pain and disease and chaos and confusion. He is the only one who can give us hope and peace and victory and joy and eternal life. I want to invite you in the series, In Times Like This.
In times like these, showing Saturdays at 6 a.m. only on Hope Channel Ghana, your preferred Christian TV station.
Hello, you are welcome back from that quick break, and you are still watching Love at Home. Here is where we discuss everything about the family. Today we want to look at understanding health, challenges of old age, and how we can solve them. We all want to grow, and the moment we are being celebrated, I am happy, I am +1 today. God bless you, God bless you. Yes, we are aging, but there are some challenges, and we see them all the time. How can we face these challenges? How can we solve them? And if we are in it, what can we do? This is our discussion for today. And on my far left, I have a very beautiful woman, Mrs. Odro. My dear, Good evening.
Good evening.
This smile, I don't know what to do with it. I'm just in love with the smile. How is your day?
God's grace, it's been stressful, but yeah, it's okay.
We thank God for the grace given to you. It is well. Your family too?
They are well.
That's good. That's good. And another beautiful, no, handsome, handsome man, Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur. He is a medical doctor and clinical psychologist at the UPSA Clinic. Dog, good evening.
Good evening.
Pacho, what to say?
Yeah.
So to you out there, good evening to you, and thank you for not leaving us. We are all welcome. Remember, on Love at Home, when it is love at home, we call every member of the family. So time must soon. Let's discuss about our oldies, what we can do, what we can learn, what the challenges are, so that as we also grow graciously into it, we can also stop certain things so that we don't fall prey like some of the oldies are. My dear, let me start quickly from you. You know, I want to know what comes to mind when we say that, or when you think that you are growing old. What do you generally feel? What comes to mind?
Growing old, you are aging. Let me start by this. You see, when you were a child, you are kind of, you see yourself in certain lights. But along the way, you look at your pictures and certain things, you can even tell yourself that, man, you knew, I'm growing old. Yeah. So sometimes when people refer to you with certain ages, I quite remember I went somewhere and how the young were discussing and they were trying to include me. Oh. I laugh and say, if people don't know, I'm old.
You are doing rebranding and packaging. Yes. You should have told them.
I told them I'm old. I'm a senior sister. So when aging comes to mind, more experience, you are more experienced in life because what you have gone through, and physically you are not that as youthful. You are losing your youthful exuberance as the years comes.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Now, doctor, how would you define healthy aging, if we do have that at all?
So health is on four levels: physical, mental, social, and spiritual.
Okay.
So when we say someone is healthy, it's not just their physical well-being. We're looking at their mental, social, and also spiritual. So when someone is healthy on the 4 levels, it means that they've developed well in all the 4 areas, such that they are satisfied with life and they can function as expected of them at a certain age. And generally, they are able to cope and adjust with life properly. Okay. They are able to form and maintain meaningful relationships. They can live a certain level of independence at that age. Then again, their presence in any social space is not destructive.
Okay.
Right, so 6 things. They're able to cope and adjust with life situations. They're able to form and maintain meaningful relationships. They are also able to have a very good perspective about themselves. They are able to live independently. They should have matured to the point where they've achieved their goals in life. Then again, their presence in any social space is not destructive.
Doc, this is really broad.
Well,
but do we see all these 6 elements you are talking about in our era?
Yes, there are elderly people who have grown well, and those people are very graceful.
Ah, yes.
For example,
you're using the right term.
Yes, for example, you go to maybe a church or a family or a home or even in school, a lecturer who is older or elderly, and you know, those who have aged well, they are very graceful. Yeah. They want the students to pass. They are not vindictive. You know, they don't get involved in. You know that they are, and even in the home, they won't be the cause of the problems in the home.
They themselves are role models.
Yes, they want to solve problems. They are very peaceful. They engage in home things well. You know, this woman, and those people, they are pleasant to be around. You know, so people have achieved a lot in terms of I'm not talking in sense of money and those things, but in terms of their growth and development on the 4 levels, they've done well.
Now, Councillor Perfect, what are some of the common challenges that we normally see as we age?
Thank you. I like to group it in 3 dimensions. So when we talk about aging, we are talking about your biological, the physical makeup, meaning that your youthfulness, you lose it. You see, when you are growing, you start having the laughing marks on your cheeks. You start having the eye, you laugh and you see that wrinkle, your skin and all that. You start realizing that sometimes you get the weak bones, especially with female, me being a doctor, osteoporosis, weak bones and all that. The arthritis and all that set in, the pains, waking up and all that, doing daily activities become much stressful. You could walk a longer distance, but now a little bit of steps you pick, you start panting. It all comes with aging. So that is the physical aspect. Then talk about the psychological aspect. You realize that your mind is not as sharp as when you were young, because you are growing. You get to a certain age, some even get dementia, some get Parkinson's disease and all that. So with the mental aspect, you realize that some even get depression if they are not treated well. And the abuse and others that people try to abuse them because they think they are older, they need to get in the way for them to go on and all that. When it comes to the social aspect, you realize that in our context for Africans, we are much more, we take care of our older generation. We give them that respect. We take that being old means that you have wisdom. So we mostly look up to them for advices and all that, to try to treat them well. But certain cultures and even in Ghana, realize that when the person is old, they start branding them as being witches because of their menopausal systems or whatever is going on in their body they don't understand. And sometimes when it gets to the family issues, being old, as a lady, being old, getting to certain points, it's like you getting even a partner becomes restricted. You are being a widow, you want to remarry, but because of your age, people think that it's okay, you have tried 2, 3, why don't you stop and make the younger generation come? But it's all part of life, it's process of life. So sometimes socially you get restricted. People think you are old, so even some dressing and all that, they think, no, you should be, you understand, they box you. And that is not how it's supposed to be. We should allow people to be. So growing old, you realize that some diseases, physical diseases comes to play. And if you don't put certain things in check whilst you are growing up, that is the time that you feel disappointed. So if you don't take care, you kind of start to have wrong perspective in life. You think life, God has not dealt with you well, but it's the decisions, maybe certain decisions or certain occurrences in your life weren't so good. So you should have been retired and enjoy your retirement, but you are still 65, still going to work, still doing manual jobs just to get to survive. So you realize that sometimes people get bitter when things don't get on well, and you realize that at certain points, maybe one of their partners is gone to glory, so they are all alone, and the loneliness that comes with just being there without your partner, the children are empty nested, they are all gone, they are living their life, and you are there. So the diseases and all the social, these 3 aspects, mostly it affects them.
I'm so much interested in the loneliness aspect, so I will come back to you on the loneliness. Now, Doctor, what are the key factors that contribute to maintaining good health?
Okay, on all the 4 levels, usually it's basically lifestyle. I'll talk about lifestyle right from childhood. Adults are a reflection of their childhood. So whatever you are doing to your body whilst you're growing up is what you see. So for example, my father was 84 before he passed. But he died because he had to die, not because he was unwell. You know, and the night he died, he went to bath, came to lie down, the guy is gone. You know, so, and there was nothing wrong with him. Very, very strong. So he even thought you get to 100 because there was nothing. And physically, he's very, very strong. So we knew that it was his time. Because there was nothing wrong with him, right? And so when you adopt a very, very healthy lifestyle, you know, right from childhood. You know, so you don't live anyhow, you don't eat anyhow, you don't drink alcohol, you don't smoke. You know, now there are a lot of younger people who are smoking and drinking. You know, they're enjoying life. They think they're enjoying life, but everything you are putting in your body, you know that all the physical changes with aging, in the natural course, you realize that the body has its own mechanism to be able to renew cells, to be able to make sure that, you know, whilst you are even aging, you are healthy aging. You are healthy and you are growing. But all the lifestyle things we do, we don't exercise, sedentary lifestyle, obesity, you smoke, you drink, you don't drink enough water, you eat all the junk foods, all those things you are doing, what it means is that you are disrupting the body's natural mechanisms to be able to promote good aging. And some people may have some genetic risk factors for all kinds of diseases, and as they grow older, depending on their lifestyle too, it will either start earlier or make things worse, right? So lifestyle, very, very important.
Lifestyle is big, and you also mentioned sedentary lifestyle. You said sedentary. What do you exactly?
So sedentary means that you have less physical activity during the day, and now the comfort of life has made us more lazy with activities. You know, those days our parents would go to the farm, walk several distance, even carry, you know, what do you call firewood and stuff, and come back. Maybe even carrying their products. All those activity is what the body needs to be able to do well. But now we sit in our 4x4s.
From AC from home.
Yes.
AC
you know,
to our cars.
we don't
AC
even walk.
to the office.
We pick a car, we go to the office, there's a lift, there's something. There's always, we sit down the whole day. So there's no physical activity. You know, so people are becoming weaker and weaker as they age, and all those things comes with its own health problems, hypertension, diabetes, cancers, and all those things, right? So that is the lifestyle-related things. Now, a lot of young people are very, very careless, you know, with their lifestyles. Now, even women are becoming even much more careless. They are drinking alcohol, they are smoking. You know, sometimes you watch them and you wonder whether they understand what is happening. In the name of I'm enjoying life, you are destroying your old age. And she mentioned some physical things, and those physical things are a product of internal changes.
Okay.
You know, physically you may see all the wrinkles and stuff. Internally to your brain is changing. You know, you may not video your brain to know how it looks like.
True.
Whilst you see the gray hair, know that, you know, internally to your heart is becoming weaker. All your blood vessels are becoming stiffer. Your kidney is going, your liver, everything is, and depending on your lifestyle, you either facilitate those processes quicker than normal, and disease processes will begin, right? And so you may meet elderly people who are very, very strong. They are doing well because the others are 90 years and it's pure suffering. You know, they have all kinds of diseases that they are spending all their money on. And so lifestyle is very, very important. Then again to social interactions, also very, very important, because the quality of your social network right from childhood determines your mental growth and your social growth.
This is big.
Right. So so the quality of so right from the womb, whoever handled your parents, if they did a good job, you come out as a baby normal. If they don't do a good job, the problems begin from there.
Hey, we are in trouble.
And it may carry on to the time you are an adult.
Wow.
Right. So there are some adults who are still struggling because they actually suffered through childbirth. You know, so they have all kinds of neurocognitive deficits and stuff like that. And some of the diseases may be genetic. So there are some people who have some genetic problems already. So even if they adopt a healthy lifestyle, those genes are waiting to express themselves in something else.
But maybe it may be delayed.
Yeah, it may be delayed.
Yeah.
Or it may not even come up at all because they live a certain healthy life. Then again to how parents handled them. You know, if your parents allowed you to play, you know, play is very, very important. You grew up and you're socially very, very mature, emotionally stable. Breastfeeding, now if you know that kids who are breastfed because of the interaction with their mother, you know, they interpret that as love, warmth.
Yeah.
You know, they grow emotionally well than kids who are not breastfed.
Yeah.
You know, so an adult may be very, very emotionally unstable, maybe because he was not breastfed, or parents they allow them to play.
Yeah.
You know, now educational system is making things worse. You go to school from 8, you come back 4 p.m., 10 assignments.
Nowhere to play football.
You know,
everywhere
social
is
interaction is gone. You come home, you're on tablets and stuff. Weekend, that is for play. Parents will put you on extra classes. So this child who is growing, you raise a professor who is not correct, right? Yeah. Because you developed their IQ, but the emotional intelligence and social skills was not there. So the person is an adult. And it may go all the way to childhood-related problems. All the abuses, physical, verbal, emotional neglect, all those things that happens to kids, it carries on to, you know, I know an older woman who is in the 70s and is very, very bitter. And anytime you talk to her, she'll start referring to things that happened to her when she was 3 years. Oh. All the abuse.
Now, coming back from this same area, let me come back to you, Councillor Perfect. Now, let's talk about the issue of mental health and the emotional well-being for these seniors. What can we do on that?
You see, if you have an older person in your house, in your church, where you live, know that it's a stage in life and we all pray to reach there. If you don't, you can't be alive and expect that you never grow old. It's a stage you also experience. So be kind to them and learn from their mistakes. One thing is they have a lot of wisdom. Most of them, when you get close to them, you realize that they share their life experiences with you. They tell you how things happened in their lives. So if you're a smart person, you realize that you are meant your ways when you listen to them. So when you have them in a community, it's best you associate ourselves with them, because loneliness mostly kills them. Because first, they have retired. They are not actively working again. And you see, when you work, you're meeting people to socialize, to talk. It boosts your even immune system, because we are not created to be alone, to be isolated. We are created to have interaction with each other. So it's best for them, and realize that when they stop work too, the sense of purpose diminish. Because when you wake up, you know you are going to here, you are doing that, you have a deadline to meet. It helps us as human beings, because when God created us, work was added to us. But now the person has stopped work, so the sense of purpose is diminishing. They are mostly at home, maybe taking care of grandchildren and all that. So let's give them something to do. When you are around them and realize that their family is not around, they are deceased, maybe a loved one is deceased and all that, it weighs on them. And you see, they can't also come crying to you, sharing to you, because they think they are older enough, so they are old enough, they need to suck everything in, which is not the best. So when you are around them, please try to make things lighter for them. Mostly realize that they like to share jokes, sense of humor and all that, and you ask them about their life, what happened, you realize that they open up a lot to you. And if you can help them or assist them in any way, it's best you can. Some of them, they want to do exercise, but going alone becomes a big challenge. So you can arrange that, oh, we'll pick a walk, I'll go with you every day for a mile and all that. You are helping yourself, you're also helping him to socialize and also exercise. So it's best that if you can assist them with the keeping of the house and other chores, it helps. And sometimes they just need people to talk to, because I realize that sometimes you have clients, when they call you, they just don't have any issue, they just want to talk. So sometimes they'll talk and invite you, when are you coming over? Just come and let's talk. So you go, you try, they try to prepare something for you, talk, they are okay. Because when you reach that age, you need people around you. But mostly people are too busy, your children are too busy living their own life. Others too are busy thinking that you can handle yourself. But actually you need people around. So if you have anybody old around you, and mostly our parents, you realize that most of us are relocated. So we are with our children and they are in our villages, in our cities and our hometowns. It's best that from time to time, take the children and go home and visit them. Call them, check up on them, talk to them. You see, when they talk a lot, but make time for them to listen to them. Don't think they talk too much, because you also reach that stage and your children are watching you. So if you can't give proper care to your parents, it will get to a time they are also going to give the same, because we have shown them that if you are old, you can be on your own. So please, let's make time for our parents and other members of our family.
So please, let's make time for the oldies. They need our support. Let me remind you that they can send your questions, contributions to 0559 680066, 559-680-066. Let's go for a quick break.
Are you a Ghanaian or resident of Ghana? Are you 30 years and below? Are you a startup, micro or small business owner wanting to scale up your business? Then apply for the Pitch 2024. Join the ranks of burgeoning startups from all across Ghana. Follow your dreams. Be bold and pitch to win a stake in the 100,000 Ghana cedis needed to unlock your startup's potential. Apply now with 100 Ghana cedis at www.thepitchghana.com.
The Pitch is powered by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with Seed Spring Network and sponsored by Heritage Cooperative Fund, National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, and our donors.
Anniversary. Upper East Ghana Mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Bolga East District, Berea Church presents its 30th anniversary. Theme: I will go. Experience the leadership of the pioneers. Special guest of honor: Pastor Dr. Kwame Anoboahene, President, Northern Ghana Union Conference. Guest of honor: Pastor Michael Osei Poku, President of the Upper East Ghana Mission. Special guest speaker: Honorable Stephen Yakubu, Upper East Regional Minister. Guest of honor: Elder Wilson Enieche, Director of Ghana Police Training School. Paulugu Bogatanga. Date: 13th April 2024, Saturday. Venue: Berea Church premises. For more information, please contact 0249 335507.
Welcome back. You're watching Love at Home, and we are discussing aging and how we can support our aged and also help them to grow better, including ourselves. But we've had a lot of discussion. Now, Councillor, let me come to you. There are so many misconceptions about aging. What are some of them, and how can we stop them?
Mostly when people hear of you being old and all that, see an old person, they think you need help. But not every old person needs help. Sometimes when you are crossing the street, they want to aid you. Sometimes they think you can't do anything of yourself, you are weak. But you have some older people who are very stronger than the youth, because they took care of themselves when they were young. Some youth are feeble and all that, but they are very strong. And you realize that some also want to work. Although they are 60, they are 65, they are strong, they still want to do some, put in some working hours. But when they go for job, we want somebody who is young, somebody giving the age cut off and all that. It's mostly not helpful. Some still want to get involved, do something. And you realize that when it comes to our social setting in our communities and all that, they think that you being old, you need to exclude yourself. For this is being childish. This is just for the children. Leave it for the youth. You are too old to do this. You see, we put a gap on certain things and box them. We have people who are youth. You see, when you are old doesn't mean that your temperament goes away. No. Your temperament is still there. You are still you, just that the age and experience is coming. So when I look at the old, well, I mostly say that is the experience and being longer on earth. But you see that if I'm a sanguine person, I'll still be that outgoing, want to socialize and all that. So me being old doesn't mean that when I go to church, when I go to camp meeting, I should just stop giving the jokes and all that and just become, because I'm supposed to be this old wise person Methuselah giving ideas and all that. I still need to be myself. If I'm the choleric who is hot-tempered, wants to be leader, have intuition and all that, you should allow me. If I'm phlegmatic, I'm the quiet type, it doesn't mean that something is bothering me. I'm old, but I still have my temperament. I'm old, but I still have my life. I'm old, but I still can enjoy life. So sometimes we put limitation on them. we try to limit them to certain access. If in certain places you realize that no, they can't go, so they need to dress certain way, they need to act certain way, and it's not the best. We are boxing them. But I like our generation coming. It's like they don't care about anything. They don't. We don't at our age. No. You understand? My son said, "Mommy, when you mention your age, you don't. Sometimes you want to act as if you are like me." Yeah. I'm say, "Oh, but what's wrong if I act? I'm just happy." Yeah. So can't I also jump and just I'm being happy? You say, "No, Mommy, but you are old." So, old people don't jump and do all those things. Right. You realize they want to box us, but it's best that if an older person try to be who you are, don't try to follow some people's perceived idea of how you should act. But in all things, know that you need to also accord respect, because certain things, they are quite off limit. You can't be just gilly up and all that. Certain things are off limit, but you should be godly but still try to enjoy your life. If you want to go to youth camp, they are having women ministries, you want to enjoy, you want to lead the singing, just participate. It even helps you to live long. It boosts your immune system and all that.
Now, Doctor, let's look at the issue of how can we prevent fall in the oldies? Because I hear that more often. How can we prevent that?
I think the first thing has to prevent falls is for the older person to acknowledge that they are old.
I want you to say my
and there are some things that they cannot do.
Okay.
And what that will mean is that they have to start putting measures in place to prevent falls. So for some people, they may have to have rails at slippery areas. They may have to use a walking aid. You know, there are people who, you know, they need to use walking stick, but they won't. You know, because it makes them look old. But you are old. What do I do? But those walking aid, I think that every old person should have a walking aid. It helps.
It supports you.
Right. And there are some people who still want to be active. They are weeding. They are cutting things and stuff. All those activities are kind of, you need some strength to do that. And so I think that they should be careful with those things and get involved in things that is a bit safe for them. Right. Then again, what it means is that when an older person is going somewhere and a family member can tag along and go with them, it helps. Because sometimes they may want to jump over something, and you may have to aid them. You know, your bones are not as strong as it was. You know, she mentioned, you know, there are all kinds of changes. Your bone becomes less dense and all that. So the likelihood that it will break is very, very high. And when my dad was alive, you know, I struggled to contain him actually. So I remember once, I think he jumped over, you know, a gutter or something, and it affected his hip. You know, he was in pain for some time. Thankfully, the pain, you know, went away. That's good. But he still didn't stop jumping. So sometimes I'll go home and I say, "Daddy, show me you." That is it. You know, but I think that all those safety things can help.
Now, Doctor, same.
And for even the bathroom, you know, very, very slippery. So even in the bathroom, they should be able to create a sitting area in the bathroom so that they don't stand and bath. They may have to sit and bath. It helps because they can slip. And when they slip, the fall is very good.
Can be serious. Yes. Now, let's look at those caregivers. What sort of attitude or characters should they exhibit? And how can they go about this?
In the first place, a caregiver should have been a trained person to handle your parent. They should have the skill. Thankfully, in Ghana, a lot of people are now being trained into the care of the elderly. You can't just leave your parents in the hands of just anybody. And again, what it means that if the person has been trained, now agencies are coming up who train caregivers and become the channel through which those people are employed. What that means that if something comes up, you can actually sue the agency or something. What it means that whoever is handling your must be trained. And again, now there are nurses who are even going into the care of the elderly. So sometimes it's even good to hire a professional who has some knowledge in helping that. They will help in the taking of their medications, if they're on some medications, checking of their blood pressure and all those things. So as much as possible, the person handling the elderly person must be someone who has the capacity to do that, because it's not easy. It's not easy understanding the elderly and their needs. And if the person can be professional enough, it means that they don't carry their problems, you know, to whoever is handling them. I think you need some. But if you can't get a professional, what it means that as much as possible, get a familiar face that you can trust and you can hand over your parents to. But as you said, they are not too weak to do some things for themselves. And the more idle they become, the weaker they become as they grow older.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, Councillor Perfect, you know, in the Western world, you realize that when the person hits certain age and they feel that they cannot contain or they cannot entertain or they cannot make the person happy, then you send them to somewhere they call home. In Africa, that is not so often. Is it really good? If it is not, or if it is, in a certain, what can we do? Or to keep them socially active and make them happy. How do we manage this?
You see, we have advantages and disadvantages to it. So if you take them to the Western world, they take them to a home, they are being catered for because the home is having medical professionals, the nurses and all that. They take care of their health needs and their food and everything. And you have older people to just like them so that they can play games and all that, socialize. They understand themselves in that range. So they have the advantage there. The disadvantage is not having your relative as much as you want. Yeah. So some just go and dump them there, and until they die before they come and pick them to the morgue and do the burial and all that. But if you put them there, constantly visit them and all that, the children, I think it's best if you don't have the time to take care of them, because you can't put your mother maybe in Kumasi, in Takoradi, in Tamale, and you don't know what is happening and you are here, you not even be comfortable. But if you have a home that you can, they will take care of her and you'll be visiting from time to time. You'll be calling them to check up on them. It's okay. But the best is to be around family because they understand you more. So a health professional may be coming in, or you can be taking them to the hospital and all that. You see, I can't have an adage that you take care of somebody for the teeth too. Yeah. So when you are young, you were not able to do a lot of things. You were not doing nothing, but it's your parents who are carrying you, breastfeeding you, taking you to school, bathing you and all that. So when they also reach that stage, it's expected that you also give them that care that they gave you when you were young and couldn't take care of yourself. So it's a cycle we go through. Yeah. So if you can't bring your mother in, your parents in, and take care of them, and your spouse will agree to it, it's okay. Because sometimes when they come, they can even help the children with their homework. You can go out and know that you have somebody, an elderly person who is keeping an eye on them. If your spouse agree, it's a good thing because it helps them to even live longer. But if your spouse, both of you, don't agree in that, you need somebody who will be at their place to constantly take care of them, because you can't just leave them just like that. So to the Western world, they have advantage, and to us, we also have advantage, but ours is much more, our advantage is much higher. But just that ours, the health aspect doesn't come in. We just give you the food and all that, but we know that when you are growing, certain intake of certain things, you need to decrease it and take certain nutrients more, your medications and all that. But ours is just you eat what all the family is eating. You just do what the family is doing, but it's not most beneficial to them because their meals needs to be prepared certain way. Some may be having diabetes, some may be BP and all that. They need not to take too much intake of salt and the milk and the sugar and all that. But if we just sum everything together, because I prepared a family dish, you need to also eat yours. It doesn't help them. With the Western world, they manage all that. But if you have them at home and you can keep an eye on them, God will bless you.
Well, let's continue from where she stopped from. How the nutritional wise, how can nutrition and exercise, how can we tailor some of these things to help them?
So generally, when it comes to nutrition, it may not be the type of food, but it may be the quantities.
The quantities, okay.
Yeah, so they may not be able to tolerate so much. And if they have some health issues, they may have to see a dietitian who will tailor their diet according to whatever problems they have. But generally a balanced diet,
it's okay.
You know, some carbohydrates you have, especially fruits and vegetables, very, very important. You know, it may supply them with all their nutrients. And when they eat healthy in terms of fruits and veggies, they may not need most of these tablets, that these multivitamins and those things. They may not need it at all, especially if they have a rich source of fruits and veggies. It helps, right? Then we have to reduce salt. We have to reduce sugar. So the more natural the food, the better. All the junk foods have to be thrown away. And so the more natural the food is, the better. And unfortunately, we are throwing away our good diet and embracing these foreign things, the tin, the canned thing, and all that. So instead of fruit juice that is in a paper bag, why not buy the fruit and blend?
Or
buy and squeeze. Those things are healthier, you know, for them. Right, and again, like I said, if the person has a particular health condition, then they necessarily have to see a dietitian who is going to plan their diet for them. They have all kinds of measurements as to how many calories a day that is necessary and all that. They will do all those calculations for them.
So what type of ailments do we normally see? What conditions do we normally see in them at this age?
There are plenty. So right from skin problems, you know, they may have skin tags, they may have dry skin and all that. They may have some cancer of the skin and all that. You go to the brain, dementia, they may have Parkinson's disease, become rigid, you know, mobility is difficult. They may have hypertension, diabetes. They may have some stroke if it's not managed well. They may have some kidney, liver problems. They may have bone problems. Especially menopausal problems, you know, intimacy may go down, the feeling for intimacy may be gone, especially, but for males, really intimacy doesn't really go anywhere. But for females, there may be dryness down there and all that. Some women maybe have some cancers of the uterus and ovarian problems. So they may even bleed after their menopause. They shouldn't bleed after menopause. If you are bleeding, you have to go to hospital. You have cervical cancer and those things. Then again, they may have, what do you call it? Especially cancer of the GI tract.
Cancer of the
gastrointestinal tract. So you may have some stomach cancers or intestinal cancers or rectal cancers, or you know, those things.
Now let's look at exercising
and all that. Yes,
which is key. I'm sure, based on your condition, that will be, you have a different type of exercise. But if the person generally can walk and all that, what simple exercise can the person do?
They may not be able to do press ups and those things, but in terms of brisk walk, maybe enough. So maybe 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, you brisk walk. And again, sometimes I tell them that, you see, walk in your area. So whilst you're walking and you're seeing people, oh, hello, hi, grandma, what today, you know, those things, it also helps the socialization. So brisk walk will help. If you can't do brisk walk and even if you have using a walking aid, make sure that you are having some movement. So for them, depending on their health status, they may not be able to jog or run. Some people may do light jogging because they have the capacity for it. You know, but brisk walk helps. You know, so by 30 minutes, 1 hour, you sweat a bit and you go home. You know, some people, depending on them, may even be able to lift some weight a little. You know, some even ball, what do you call, you have the soft ball that you can be exercising your fingers, it helps. Exercise would help, you know, improve all the internal, you know, systems, and again prevent stiffness and atrophy of your muscles. Atrophy means that your muscles will become a bit wasted and weak, and you lose muscle mass. When your limbs are not being used well, you know, you lose muscle mass and power.
Okay, I was actually going to ask, if someone is amputated, what kind of exercise, and maybe because the mobility, he can't move.
It depends. It depends on if it's both limbs, then movement becomes difficult. And with those people, they maybe suggest some physiotherapy and all that. But if one leg is cut, they may still use a walking aid to move. It may be a bit challenging.
The person can walk.
Yes, and you may have a relative who can help the person. But even if they are using walking aid, Zimmer frame, whatever, walking aid, they still have to move. You know, and not say that, oh, my mother is using walking aid, so they cannot move. You need to, if someone has to hold them to maybe 5 steps, 10 steps, whatever helps. And movement to prevent blood clots, you know, from the limbs. whilst we move, circulation from the legs is improved, right? But some people sit for long hours, and before you realize they have blood clots in their legs, and that one very, very dangerous.
Really?
Yes, one clot can even dislodge and get to the lungs. You are gone. Right, so some people may even suddenly die, maybe because of that.
Okay.
They may not know, so you have to walk. And sometimes when they sleep, they have to put their feet on pillow to aid the circulation of blood and all that.
Okay.
And those who are immobile and they lie down for long hours, because of pressure, you know, at the back, they may develop some pressure sores. Very, very difficult to manage. So the carer may have to be turning them, you know, sideways to prevent those sores, bed sores. Very, very difficult to manage. They become infected. Wound healing is poor. It's not easy at all.
And if you have diabetes, it becomes,
another issue altogether. Now, Councillor Buffett, let's look at the support systems. But do it in line with loneliness. The support systems that we have in Ghana, or what we can give to our family members.
Okay, before I touch on that, I like to say that if we are old to not just the exercise, you need to take enough rest. Because rest helps you to rejuvenate. You are growing old. So certain things, you going to funeral and parties and taking long period outside doesn't help. Get time to get a good night's sleep and have your naps in between so that at least you can recoup and try to maybe the sun so that you could get your muscles and your cells right and all that. And you realize that some people, they still continue to read in the dark and all that, watching our phones and all that. Try to protect your eye when you are aging, because the eye age faster. So protect your eyes so that you could at least have the sight so that as you go on. But talking about loneliness and the support system that we have, I'll start from the home. If you are a child, knowing that your parents are growing old, you need to start thinking about them. You don't just think about yourself, but start putting measures in place. You see, doctor was saying that when his father was getting old, he used to go there, check up on him and also advise him and being around and all that. So it helps him. It helps the father and it helps doctor also to bond. You understand? So if you have your parents, don't just leave them to their worst end, but rather make time to go. Don't just stay in Accra, don't just stay in Kumasi and leave them in the village and thinking that they can survive. One thing is when you call them on phone, they sound okay. But when you see them, realize that, they are aging. So sometimes even when they are getting up, how they'll struggle to be holding things, you realize that no, they are growing. So you need to spend more time with them. If you have relatives who are around, who be spending time with them, it's best. Don't leave them just alone in a big house. Some realize that they are just alone. Maybe a spouse is passed, so they are just this. Oh, I can cook, I can do things myself. And be thinking, oh, my parents can, my dad can do it. Oh no, it's not the best. Let somebody be checking up on them from time to time. You might not know what will be lacking. And when we come to our church, you realize we have the aged day. We should not wait for the aged day before we think about them. We should try to visit them from time to time. Sometimes they come to church all right, but they need a weekly visit. So when you are passing by, get time to sit down and talk with them.
Some are not even able to come at all.
At all. So get home and talk to them. Sometimes when they come to church, don't think that they are okay. You see, sometimes they are also a bit shy to be mingling with us and all that. So when they seclude themselves, it's best to pick up a chair, you go there and you have a conversation with them. You realize that they lighten up. Then they tell you a lot. So whenever they see you, then they'll be calling you, my daughter, come. Even the current things that are going on, they'll be showing it to you on your phones and they'll be sending you videos. Just reply it to them. I have one elderly woman who mostly sends me videos. And the video she sends, I was like, hey, mom, where do you get your data from? You understand? Yeah. She's always sending it and she's up to date. So it's nice you also send her some and all that. So the church, we try to support them more. And when we come to our community, we should not just concentrate on just the Adventists. We are all humans. So if you realize that somebody is old and not being able to go to church, the children are not even paying attention, you can even adopt them as your mother, as your parents, and start paying attention to them, a bag of rice, fruits, and all that. You are winning soul for Christ. Through that, you can even get them to join us.
Now, your last word.
My regards to my mother. She just celebrated her birthday.
Wow.
So, Mami Kuma, thank you for everything and God bless you. Otafu SDHS. She's still teaching at APS. Osio Jaya Obebabra. So she's still good. So thank you. God bless you. And I love you so much more.
That's wonderful. Now, Dog, what advice do you have for those who are young and are thinking they will never get old? So they are doing whatever they have to do.
There is a very, very scary statistics about Ghana.
Please tell us.
And the elderly. Only 4% of Ghanaians, it's about 3.5% of Ghanaians, cross 65.
Currently?
It's been the stats.
Wow.
If you look at Ghana population, only 1.2 or so are above 65.
So after retirement, 5 years,
life
then
expectancy for Ghana is around 64, 65. And so majority of Ghanaians don't cross 65. And most of the time is because of lifestyle related issues and health related problems. Okay. It's very, very serious. Okay. Very, very. So if you're a young person, know that whatever you are doing to your body is what your body will become as you grow older. So live a very healthy life. And that is why, you see, the Bible is very clear on many levels. You know, the Bible is very, very productive, so protective. So don't think that you're enjoying life and you expect a very good old age. Sometimes an elderly person will come and be in the hospital and you see almost every relative has come around because they lived well. Other people too come and people are struggling to raise funds to take care of them. And you wonder what happened to them. So everything you are doing, every kindness you are showing, everything you are doing in this as a young person, know that as you grow older, right, people may come around. Yeah. The good you are doing, everything is coming together as you are old. And the best thing you can do is to invest in your relationship with God, because that protects you from many things. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before everything starts going down.
Yes. Somebody has sent me a question. Let me ask. He says he doesn't want to see grey hair. He's aging, but he doesn't want to see grey hair. Is it possible?
Well, unless a miracle.
Unless a miracle. Okay.
But white hair is good.
It's good, okay. It's good. All right. So thank you so much, Mrs. Odro. Thank you so much, Dr. Newman. You've been very, very wonderful. We've enjoyed you. Thank you so much. And to you, thank you so much. A very, very beautiful and wonderful birthday to Jacob Oforia Pia. Jacob Oforia Pia, happy birthday. Your daddy, Mr. Pia, Hope Channel Ghana, says happy birthday. He says God bless you. And so from all of us here, we say God bless you. And to all those who are celebrating their birthdays, to you out there, we are glad you make time to join us. Same time next week, come to your homes again. We have been discussing the aged and then their potentials, how we can help them to survive. As you are growing, remember, Doctor has said it all. Whatever you are putting in your system now will compile up and it will face you when you are growing up or in your oldies. So be very careful whatever you consume. Good night and take care. Bye-bye.